TVT. Let me get this over here. We've got a TVT, it's ZvT, sorry. ZvT. Doesn't seem to want to load. Let's go to downloads folder. Let's just do that then. If it's not going to work, we'll just go through the other way. Have I got game sound? There we go. I'm not sure how other people feel, but I usually send an overlord to one base, drone to the other. I like to know where they are a little bit earlier. It looks like the overlord's going to go, they're going to both go to a base. That's cute. We took the minerals down, which is a bit of a waste because that drone's already mined the minerals. It's only 5 minerals, but it's just like a small thing. We want to take the gas after we hit 16 out of 16. So the 17 drone, that drone there, should have been the gas drone. Why are we so... I'm so confused. Why are we already late with all this stuff? Do we build... Oh, we just weren't paying attention. And then we used we used 2 drones that were already carrying minerals. We used another drone there that's carrying minerals. 15 minerals we've lost now. No, it's not game breaking. It's not going to be the end of the world, right? But it's just a little bit of inconsistency in where we're picking our drones from, right? And we also don't want to take drones off minerals ever, basically. So this is sus. This to me is incredibly sus. Because what is he building? He's either building something on the map or he's just turtling real hard and he doesn't want you to get in there. But unfortunately, like, you could pretty much break this with a couple of roaches anyway if you really wanted to. You definitely have the gas to. You could drop a roach one right now. Have your queen will pop out soon enough and then you can just walk across the map, I think. So just curious about what he has behind this. It's absolutely nothing. He has nothing on the map either. And if he saw the direction the overlord came from, he should know which base you're at. I would say that's a pretty easy tell. So our pull was 5 seconds late there. Our queens are 5 seconds late. If we face anyone that's doing a regular timing, that's 5 extra seconds on top of normal, that we need to be worried. This is just one base with a factory and a barracks. This is all good scouting. Are we building overlords to deal with this? Yes, we are, which is great. I'd love to see us building 2. Probably built it just a little bit too late. Because what are we floating? We're floating lava the entire time. It's not a huge deal. I can't remember what MMR this was. I think this might have been... This has to be plat or something. These overlords are going to start coming out and going to start getting in the way. So as you build overlords, I'd like to see them rallied into dead space. So what is a dead space? Dead space is just any area that basically ground troops can't get underneath of. But it's a good place that can be abused by anything that flies. Prisms, Mutalisks, Void Rays, Medevacs, all that kind of stuff. BCs, carriers, Tempests can all abuse this kind of terrain to get into your base, do damage, and then fly away. And you can't really chase them. It's a huge gap. So, yeah. Anything... We just want to have overlords between these gaps. We want to have an overlord like here. So spot anything trying to work its way down this way. And even like... You could get away with one here, and it might even spot them starting to mine this. One here might spot them trying to mine this. You might even spot them literally moving out. So if you've got medevacs and stuff coming out, it'll spot them moving out. Where are we on? We're on 30. 31 drones. (31 drones at 4 minutes, so we're basically 10 drones behind where we could be and where we should be. We're just building a flood of lings, but we don't know if they're going to be useful or not, right? Because we don't know if he's taken his base yet. If these lings were here, ready to go right now, you win the game. You get up here, this cannot come back here and block this. The game's over right now. But we don't see this because we don't have an overlord here, right? That first overlord didn't really have to come in and sack and die to show us all this. But in saying that, where does all this go when the depot goes down? Does it tuck away? In saying that, we still want another overlord here so we can see them moving out. We can see when they try and take their wall. We can see a whole lot of stuff. This is a very early BC for a dude that has 2 tanks and a bunch of marines already. So when's this going to finish up? Oh, that's so annoying. This overlay is not half as useful as I thought it might be. Someone was trying to tell me, I got a comment that the game sounds a bit too low, but from what I can see from the mixer, it's probably too high. It looks like it's not even with the game. So what we don't want to do here... No, he knows. Oh, no, he doesn't. Yeah, he got it just in time. So again, we could have won this just walking in here. This is going to finish up soon. Pretty standard timing, honestly, considering the Terran has done... well, nothing's happened either way, but you're on 3 queens, a bunch of roaches and a bunch of lings, versus what is just about to be a BC in your base. I'm literally finishing now. So common timing for a BC is actually 5:30. So this is very good for whatever level this is, platinum or something like that. Bear in mind, you've given him nothing to stress over. You've given him no reason to make it difficult. So 5:30 is a pretty reasonable guess. 5:30 is a pretty reasonable go. Because we haven't been pumping the drones as much, we've been building lings and roaches, which aren't going to offer us any help. And we haven't been able to afford queens as much as we want, and we haven't got our 430 safety spores. So we didn't confirm the lack of a starport. So therefore, the idea is that we are just going to drop spores anyway, because the last thing you want is like a liberator getting into here, smacking the drones, and then the queen comes down here to try and deal with it, and she ends up getting blasted herself. And now we've lost half a mineral line worth of drones and a queen, and it's very easy to get into a bad spot from there. So I imagine this BC is going to come in and absolutely dominate us. We're just not building drones. We're building more lings, but we're not really... We have no idea what he's doing. We build 1 spore underneath it. We probably should build like 3 or 4. If you really want to do it that way, build like 3 or 4 spores underneath it. But this is going to be... I think, like, this is kind of unfortunate, right? You've put all the drones here, even though you've got this base that's unsaturated. Just move them to here. Yeah, this is not where we want to be. If you had the gas, could have just made these into ravages and biled that all down. When we're fighting this, we want the spores to come up as well, right? We need the spore... We need the damage from the spores. There we go. These do an incredible amount of damage, and we really need them to be involved in order for it to be a bit easier for us. 140 HP. So just pull the spore up and put it down somewhere where... This is killing me. Oh, this is good. This is good. I think we might get the... We could get the BC here, in fact. Oh. No. Yes. Excellent. So now that that's done, we built drones, which is fantastic. I love it. we're taking the gases here, but we could just it just needs to go back to mining here. I'm wondering how long it's going to take us to resaturate this and move all these around. I don't know how I've done that, but I've put that down there. Our saturation here really needs to get fixed quickly. Like 10 drones oversaturated. It's not a good spot to be in. So usually the follow-up from something like that isn't going to be much of anything, if that. So you probably are pretty safe usually to just drone up. Not always the case. Sometimes they might come in with a heli and run by as well at the same time. We really need to get these drones off here and send them down to here. Then we'd be saturated on 2 bases again. Because this Terran's actually on more workers than we are. We've lost 10 workers. And we've lost 1,000 resources more. So at this stage, realistically, because you haven't been ahead in any significant way, the game's pretty much even. You've got a large army, he's got a large army at home, but the chance of you getting your army into his army is pretty minimal. So we've got spores for safety, right? We've got a couple of queens. We just need to drone. We need to drone really hard. You've got an army here, but you have no idea about what's going on his side of the map. This is a lot of tanks, right? If this crosses the map and gets to here, sieges up, I think you're pretty much dead. When we do these move outs as well, I like to grab everything, rally it across, click a couple of lings out, click back a sec, and then click forward again to avoid this. What did we lose? Units tab. We lost 44 lings for 2 tanks, which now puts us another 1,200 resources behind. So at this stage, you've lost like a whole minute's worth of resources. And you guys have had pretty much the same economy all game. These are the things to think about, right? If you and your opponent are pretty much even, and you take a fight like that with no vision, whatever, you just run the hell in and lose a whole bunch of zerglings. Now you basically need to try and make that up somewhere else. You need to make that up elsewhere by fighting better or having more macro and more economy. The fact that he's taking a third now, I mean, if he just holds down the SCV key, he might be alright. I just want to see what happens, because he seems like he's in... Oh no, he hasn't dropped them down for a little while, so it must have just been the first couple he does. It's a pretty cute design. We've got roaches as scouts, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest. And we haven't got, from what I can see, no, we haven't got our roach warren upgrades. Mutas are a good idea for a switch, but honestly, it's so easy for him to just go into Thor, which is exactly what he's doing right now. He could just go like Thor, Mine, Hellbat, and just, yeah, it's just totally slaughter us. He's finally back into making SCVs, so now he's going to start pulling ahead in economy again. Where's our income? He's actually earning more than you, and he's making more gas. His army's easy to use, his macro's easier. It's just going to be real hard for us to win this at this stage. We've got 3 base versus 3 base. We're taking a 4th. I'd love to see us take this one, and I'd love to see us have any idea of what he is doing, because this still dies to like a lot of Ling and Roach, you know what I mean? Like, it's still kind of the answer here is to just max out. It would be very easy to just max out and walk all over this, or bring a couple of units that can deal with the tanks and then go for it, but we're getting overseers. I'd love to see them drop a changeling. We're fixing our saturation a little bit. We're cleaning up. I'd love to see us take this gas, since we're obviously very keen on taking the gases. It looks like he was rallied in, which is good. That's actually pretty clever. So whether or not... What is important though is what are we seeing when we're doing this? Nothing. Alright. BC, Tank, Thor, Mine. Hellbat. I think you've got a decent composition for actually taking this out. I'm just worried that we've not been ahead in any significant amount for so long that we don't have a chance of really just straight up winning this fine. What upgrade did we just get? +1 attack for Mutalisks. Not super phased about that. I think since roaches make up the majority of your DPS right now, with 29 roaches, they're doing 300 DPS, and 13 muta doing sweet bugger all DPS. Melee attack or roach attack would have been good, like range or melee, but air attacks probably wouldn't have been the choice for me. Now these are the kind of units that aren't good for a straight up fight, right? So what we want to do is, like he's doing here, we want to get around. Beautiful stuff. It would have been nice to actually let him finish the CC, and so you could try and pick it off as it's building. We could probably fight this BC and kill it. I wouldn't have split them off though. I would have just... And now we're going to run into Thor. We're going to run into Yamatos. We had the chance to kill one BC, and instead we killed no BCs. And now the Terrans lost like a couple of SCVs, and you've lost like another 2,000 resources of Mutalisks. You've killed a couple of workers, mate, but you're 3,000 resources behind, 3,800 resources behind. So losing 2,000 resources worth of muta to do like 500 resources worth of damage is not a good trade. He's going to be maxed out before you. The Corruptors are good. They probably should have gone with the Mutalisks, to be absolutely honest. Our injects have absolutely dropped off. A lot of things here not going well, but this is obviously like plat or something. And now this is super easy for him. He's just literally A moving. We've got roaches stuck in this gap here trying to fight desperately. Yep, and that's it. There's another reason why as well we want to be attacking on his side of the map, because once he gets into position like this, there's nothing we can do about it. That was like 6 slings, and they didn't even kill the Marine. The Marine copped more friendly fire than the Zerglings got on it. We just happened to be building more Corruptors. We got rid of the BCs, right? But the BCs are no threat anymore. So, and these are tanks with what? 2-1. Our units are just rallying out. So when we're in a position like this, we're being pressured. The first thing you should be doing is re-rallying your extra hatcheries somewhere else. Rallying these to maybe here, rallying this to here, whether it's manual or however you want to do it if you've got camera locations. But you need to stop rallying them through. And if you are in a position where you want to keep rallying them through because maybe they're sitting right on top of the lava, then you can either grab the lava, right click it on the hatchery, and that'll, when they spawn, they're at the hatchery, so they don't need to move, and they'll just start attacking straight away. Or if you want to, you can just like F2A move every like half a second or something every time something pops, just to get it involved. Because I'm on this, what do you call this, overlay? Hey, this is good. We're going to get some real damage here. But he's like already got enough BCs to just wipe this out. Yamato's done as well, I think. Yeah, he knows there's another base. There's just not a lot we can do in this position. Zerg's biggest strength, Zerg's best unit is literally drones. Make drones and you'll be good. To not make drones in the speed you need to, that just costs you too much, right? So the only way to really beat this kind of stuff is to kind of bully it by just having more things. Yeah, it's just we're running our drones around, but honestly, man, this is done. If you have done no significant damage to your opponent, and you are sitting on a one hatchery economy, which isn't even one hatchery anymore, like you literally have a hive with no units, it's time to leave the game, because this is just going to cause you more frustration. You're trying to scrape a win out of an unwinnable position. You are a third of your opponent's supply, and he's still mining like 6 times what you are every single minute. There's no coming back from this without an incredible play, and you don't have the technology, you don't have the unit count, you have nothing, you have none of the things that you need to get to where you want to be. He's got 2-1-1. What else has he got? He's got 2-2-2 coming as well, so he's in a real good spot with an army composition that's just super easy to use. Yeah, there's just save yourself the trouble and just leave the game and say GG and bow out and spend your energy on the next one. Because he's coming back to finish the job. Like, you take this hatchery and then what? You were almost maxed out in your first fight and couldn't get a kill, and now you're definitely not going to get it here. Like, what are we going for the hive for as well? This is a little bit of like a gold or platinum sort of idea that's like, hey, you've always got far out. There's always like a comeback mechanic, but it's not real. We could have and probably should have been at these other bases already before you got killed. Like at 10 minutes, the idea is for us to have these bases and be saturated like mad. This map is incredible for actually just being super greedy on, because a lot of people won't even check the third base. They won't even bother checking this. Like we're teching up. We made like 2 creep tumors all game. We're building 4 hatcheries at a time. We don't even have a spawning pool. So by the time we build a spawning pool, we're going to have 400 resources left. There's no point. This is just a lot of extra time out of your day. That's not going to happen. It's not going to do anything. Now he knows where the bases are as well. Yeah. Yep. So I'm just trying to skip back a little bit. So at this stage we're kind of traveling okay. We're making drones, we're making queens. But we're delaying our third, and I see this a lot, and I see this a lot even in like low diamond to mid diamond as well, the third delay. I don't understand it. Maybe it's because I'm not keeping up with the meta or something, I don't know. But I just don't understand why we are taking our thirds so late. Like, my normal third's popping off right about now. You're going to have, like, you're going to be losing 6 lava by not having this come out at an early timing. Again, another drone being, like, it's not hard to pick one. Like, I need to build a roach warren. Look over, that one, boom. Just give him a split second more to drop off his minerals. He has already mined the minerals. You've just lost 5 minerals. So you've lost 20 minerals just from that. And at 5:30, as I said, 5:30 is such a very common time for a BC. When a Terran's one base like this, there's only 2 things I think you really need to watch out for, and that's BC or just like a plain old push, right? So the idea would be you keep an overlord here, you look for a ground push, and then at like 4-ish minutes, you send another overlord in to have a scout, and you would have absolutely spotted this because your overlord should be here. So this overlord here, it's a bit of a weird map, but this overlord here, once he realizes nothing's here, should probably be rallied down to here, and he probably would have caught this perfectly. And then Bob's your uncle, you've got yourself a fantastic scout. You can build spores, you can build a bunch of queens, and then you can just go back to playing a regular old game. But 30 workers at almost 5 minutes is really not where we want to be. And so if we had this overlord here, like we should have, we could have seen this and just come in now and just won this game straight off the bat. You have a pretty big army here versus literally 2 tanks and like 3 marines. Easy storm for a couple of lings to do. Just unfortunate, but these are the kind of things we need to do. The second overlord needs to come in. When did we get the lair? We got the lair really late as well. It just all ends up paying for us. So if Terran's on 1 base, or he's on 2 bases, but he's not really being active, he's being real turtly, just assume it's going to be a BC, but keep your overlord here just in case he does move out, and that way you should be pretty safe. When the lair is done, this is very late obviously, but when the lair is done, just send an overlord across and have a look, and that will basically reveal what he's doing. It's pretty hard to deny the overseer scout, to be honest, so I don't think that's a massive issue. Let me try something. It's pretty hard to deny the overseer scout, to be honest. So with that being said, I feel like if you just hit the lair at the normal time, so 4 minutes is when your tech should be going off. What you're building there, I don't know if you're following like a Pig's Bronze GM or something, but that felt like an all-in almost, because there was no scouting besides the initial overlord. It was just like, I'm just going to make a whole bunch of units off a very small drone count and see how we go. So I'm just going to do University AI. I haven't played in a little while either actually, so this might be good for me. So this overlord's going to go on this map. It's a bit weird. The overlord, I want him to go here and go here. The reason I don't want him to cross the map completely is because I don't want him to come here and then miss anything coming to my side of the map. This one goes down here. This is not my standard actually. It's usually just like a single gas, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. I think it'll be very surprised what you can get away with. So we're building that overlord there. He's going to come out to here. Actually, we'll pretend it's Terran, right? We'll go there and there. Spawning pool. Now the spawning pool is just a little bit early here. It's going to give us the advantage of being able to just have 2 queens that pop out in a good time. It's going to give us our injects a little earlier, so hopefully ramp our economy up a little bit faster. And obviously the queens being out earlier means we're safer against any kind of early pressures, but we're also going to be able to just deflect the Reaper without any real trouble, which is what it's all about really, because there's nothing I enjoy less than the little Reaper micro game at the start of every TBZ. So queen, drone, drone, and then this drone is going to go to the 3rd. Drone again. Standard Reaper timing is 2:30. Pardon me. Right, you can come out if you want. Now, we've just injected, we've just spent some of our lava. we're going to be supply capped if we don't get more overlords before our next one comes out. So overlord, another overlord, going to put it here in the dead space. I'm going to try and get a queen out for this. What do we see? We see nothing. If we see nothing, we are welcome to dive it in. Now we're going for a pretty standard sort of TVZ, I would say. We see some Marines. You can dive it in if you want, but the idea would be to just leave it here. And all we want to do is just see it move across the map. We want some lings to defend the Hellion pressure. We actually want to get back onto gas. We'll take a second gas as well. Oh, see, I forgot my overlords, and look what happens, right? So if you've got your overlords and you're in a, you know your economy is pretty good, you don't need to be super worried about it. Our overlord position could be better here. We could have one here, we could have one here, and even here and here. I'm playing against the AI, so obviously I'm not going to try and be super crisp with it. One a layer. What time is it? My layer's a little bit late, so what we're going to do, we're actually going to dive an overlord just straight in. Where's our economy at? 60 drones. We can do better than that. Now it's 5:30. Or 5:10, sorry. So if we do have a BC coming, it's going to come soon. What do we see? Nothing but bio. I like to kind of just like keep getting queens and then just like kind of leaving them lying around. Now, so we've got that. We can go for that. As soon as that's done, I like to have full saturation at all times, if I can. And we're just going to build a bunch of lings to start with. Now, what's he say? We want to have a little look around. We want to send the changeling to just scout everything that it can. What do we say? We got a pretty good scout. We pretty much saw everything we needed to see. We'll just go back in for another scout. Thanks to this overlord, we see him moving out. Right? We don't really need to react super harsh to it. It's just an AI after all. Move some drones. One more drone. Now, this isn't the greatest max out that we're doing. This is going to be a little slow, but we also did pay for a whole bunch of lings that we didn't need to make, right? So the idea would be, normally you don't make those safety lings. If you feel like they're not going to be making Hellions, there's no point. But we're maxed here. If you can get maxed with speed and 1-1 finishing by 8 minutes, you're in a good spot. And now we just roll over. On the move out, we always get Infestation Pit and a Hydralisk Den. The next goal is, even though it's not going to work because we're not going to really lose anything. Just pretend our army is dying. As your army is dying, you're droning this base up. You take the gases. You take your 5th. Take your 6th. And now you're in an absolutely sick spot. Press your hotkey, get your Hydralisk upgrades, get your Lurker Den. Now again, pretend we're losing our units. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll just move them there. That's what we're doing right now. We're getting into every bit of tech that we're going to need to go into a late game. No, I'm not going to surrender. We're getting into every bit of tech that we're going to need to go into a late game with, right? So we've already got a hive on the way. When the hive, by the time the hive pops a lurker, then it'll be ready. So we could literally just make like, I don't know, however many you want lurkers. So we're getting Hydralisks. These can go over to here. Take the bases if you want. And then when these Hydras pop out, we go straight into SD for me. Obviously your hotkeys are different. Drop a whole shit ton of lurkers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 91 workers, living good. I like a queen on pretty much every base. But it's 10 minutes. We've been maxed out already. We've got all the lurker and upgrades going. So like 11 minutes, we're going to have all the lurkers upgrades coming. We've already got 1-1. We've got 2-2, 3-3 available now. Hydras are upgraded. We're in a sick position. Oh, sorry, my shoulder's a bit sore. It's not hard to get to the drone counts we need to get to. Even when you build a ton of lings at a random time. There was a couple of supply blocks there which are unfortunate. But for the most part, these like, how many lings did I build? 18 lings. This could have been another 9 drones, and I could have been at 50 workers already, very easily. It's absolutely not impossible to do. It just, I don't want that to become like your standard, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed by a handful of Hellions as well. And then so, where are we at? 40 workers by 4 minutes. We basically want 10 workers per minute. That's the minimum. Alright, this supply block here killed us, right? We're floating 8 lava. This is the kind of things you can look for in your own games, right? You got supply blocks. Why do we get supply blocks? Because we forgot to build our overlords in between our inject cycles. So now we're sitting on 8 lava. So not only is that a problem, but this hatchery now is not generating any more new lava until I'm unsupply blocked and I've used these lava. Same thing here. No, this one's alright actually. It's only got 1 lava, and this one's got 4 lava. So both these hatcheries now have not made any extra lava until I can use the lava I've got. So if you don't realize you're supply blocked and you're floating 3 lava, and then you make an overload, you've basically lost 2 lava because you weren't able to use those lava in that time. So the layers at 4:30. It's not exactly super late, but it's not exactly super early either. At 4:41, we're at 50 workers, 18 lings. We've got 3 queens, a little low. We could do a 430 spore. But I'm just trying to show that you can get to a real safe, you can have a safe opening without having to like stop at 30 workers and build some roaches or whatever. As long as we have this overlord here, we are at no risk of him just appearing on our side of the map, and we can drone up like absolute mad until we see something move out. Because it takes about 30, I think it's 35 seconds or something for most armies to run from one side of the map to the other. That's enough time for a whole inject cycle to finish up almost. That's time for 2 sets of like lings to finish up. So if you're finishing up a bunch of lings, they'll finish up, and then any lava after that should finish up also before they get to your base. It's a lot of time, and this is honestly the best information you can have. Leaving this open or having it sitting on the pillar where it doesn't quite see everything, or maybe sitting it down here where you think, oh, it's safe. It sounds great on paper until you lose games where they sneak out the side and they just get through without you seeing a thing. Oh. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. If there's anything that doesn't make sense, please do let me know. And yeah, that's it.